1947, 1965, 1999. These are some of the years that saw India and Pakistan go to war with each other. The two countries have fought 3 major wars. There have been smaller conflicts like the war in Kashmir and the Battle of Suri, but today we'll talk about the 3 major wars. Let's start with the first war. War number 1. The first war between India and Pakistan was in 1948. It was called the Kashmir War. The war started in October 1947. It ended in January 1949. The war was fought over the princely state of Kashmir. Today, it is a part of India. Back then, it was not certain whether Kashmir would join India or Pakistan or remain independent. This uncertainty led to the war. The Pakistani proxies infiltrated Kashmir. They attacked Indian targets. So India decided to intervene. The war was fought between India and Pakistan, but it was mostly between India and the proxies of Pakistan. The United Nations played the role of a mediator. The war ended with the UN's intervention. The line of control in Kashmir came out of this war. That's basically the border between India and Pakistan and Kashmir. This war also led to the first armed conflict outside of a war zone. What does that mean? It means that the war led to the creation of the Siachen Glacier conflict. In fact, it is often called the highest battleground on Earth. The Siachen Glacier is at an elevation of more than 20,000 feet. It is in the Himalayas. And since 1984, Indian and Pakistani soldiers have been fighting here. Basically, they're fighting over this glacier. More than 1,000 soldiers have died on both sides, but neither side has made any gains. Moving on to the Second War. The Second War was in 1965. It was called the Indo-Pakistani War. It was fought between India and Pakistan, but it was mainly between India and what was then called East Pakistan, today Bangladesh. The war lasted from April to September 1965. It started due to border disputes, and the war ended with neither side gaining any territory. The United Nations called for a ceasefire. Now the Third War, it was in 1999. It was called the Kargil War. The war started in May 1999. It ended in July the same year. It was fought over the Kargil district in the Indian state of Jammu in Kashmir. Both India and Pakistan claimed the territory, so there were infiltrators from both sides. The war was basically between India and Pakistan. India managed to push back the infiltrators. Pakistan had to accept the reality on the ground. Now all these wars were fought in the backdrop of one issue, Kashmir. All 3 wars were either fully or mostly about Kashmir. Do you know why? Because of religion. Now let me explain. After independence, India and Pakistan had one big problem. What to do with Kashmir? The leaders of India and Pakistan failed to reach an agreement on Kashmir. In 1947, when India got its independence, there were 565 princely states. They could either join India or Pakistan or stay independent. Most of these states had a choice, but not Kashmir. Why? Because of the instrument of accession. It says that the Indian government can decide on behalf of Kashmir. Article 370 was also mentioned in this document. Anyway, coming back to the wars, most of the wars between India and Pakistan were fought over Kashmir. But there is one thing in common. None of the wars ended with either side conquering Kashmir. You might say the reason is the international pressure. Maybe the world did not want a full-scale war between 2 nuclear powers, so the wars ended in stalemates. But one thing's for sure, all these wars had a lasting impact on the region and the world. They created an atmosphere of mistrust. Also, millions of people were displaced in these wars. Even today, there is no dearth of animosity between the 2 countries. Just look at their social media banter. Even today, there is a lot of cross-border terrorism. Even today, the threat of another war looms large. In 2016, India made a surgical strike on Pakistan. In 2019, India revoked Article 370. Both these moves were seen as a challenge by Pakistan. We all know what happened on February 14th this year, a Pakistani terrorist attack in Kashmir. India's response was swift and massive. Airstrikes in Balakot, that's in Pakistan. But will there be another war? Judging from the past, anything can happen.